This is a Panagor 135mm, and in a few minutes you'll know if it's worth it. Let's go. Welcome back guys by Glass Test, a series where we review different modern and vintage lenses. And today's all about this lens I managed to get for really cheap on Etsy. This lens has standard M42 mount and an aperture of 2.8 till 22. And one thing that's really cool about this lens is that you can lock the aperture with this switch. I just found it really cool, I don't know why. And then one thing I also really like about this lens is the focus ring, because it's so smooth and it's a pleasure to work with. And this lens feels like proper quality. Even holding this lens, it feels like I'm holding into something. From the first moment I took a picture with the lens, I fell in love. I would recommend to get this focal length because I don't know what it is. Just like the distance and the bokeh, it's such a beautiful focal length. No matter if you buy this lens or the other 135, I would recommend to get one. The tailor lens feel is just something I really live for. Another thing about its focal length is that you can take pictures from far away, so nobody will notice if you're taking pictures of them. Of course, it can also be a problem if you can't move further back. This lens is probably the best if you shoot like in open spaces. I also really love to shoot detail shots with this lens. And one thing that also took me by surprise is that this lens is really sharp. From the first picture, I already contacted my friend to share them how happy I am with this lens, because this was like the first picture I took with this lens. And I got so happy and so excited to shoot even more. And one other reason I really like this lens is that it's good for videography. This lens is amazing if you take videos. I can even see myself using this for client work because the lens is just so cinematic and it just looks so good. And again, the focusing is so smooth. Like focusing with this lens is a pleasure. Like modern lenses can learn a lot of this focus ring. Please take notes. Now let's get into the test. And let's start with the aperture test, where we test the sharpness of this lens. And you need to remember that this is a vintage lens, so it won't be as sharp as modern lens, but it still surprised me a lot. 5.6, this is a lot sharper than the first one. And I think that's usually the case with lenses. It's better to not shoot wide open because that usually has like a softer feel. If you would like a sharper image, go a little bit lower with your aperture. But yeah, I'm really surprised. The next test is the manual focus. Like I mentioned in the beginning, this lens has a really nice manual focus ring, which makes it a really pleasure to work with. Chromatic aberration is like the color line you see around your subject when you shoot in high contrast environments. And I have to say, this lens does have some. It's not that bad, but of course there still are some lines. But nowadays many people add them in post when they do videography, so this might also be a good thing. Flare and ghosting. For this test I shoot against the sun to see how the lens performs. And now I look back, I can't even see the sun. I'm really surprised. The sun was really strong this day, but this lens kinda ignored that. This can be a good thing, but also a bad thing if you're looking for lens flare. And the last is bokeh. The bokeh is lovely, it's creamy and cinematic. I think the focal length also has something to do with this, but yes, it's really easy to create cinematic shots with this lens. I think this lens is amazing for the price you can get it. But like I said, 135 is quite a tight frame. So if you shoot like more in small spaces, then this lens might not be for you. But I can see this lens being perfect for like shooting animals and wildlife. Because you don't have autofocus, it will be harder to shoot sports. But I feel like if you shoot with like a lower aperture, you might get away with it. I personally would use this lens for landscape photography, wildlife, maybe even some portraits, and mainly for videography. This became one of my favorite vintage lenses and I'm pretty sure it can become yours as well. If you would like to see more of me, follow me on Instagram or here on YouTube. And YouTube thinks you might like this video, so I will see you over there. Bye bye!